he agreed to show the troopers where more bodies were buried.
As we finish our short video series on Robert the Butcher Baker Hansen, we'll give a brief summary of his crimes, and we'll touch upon what eventually led to his downfall and his arrest. Robert Hansen, a local baker and family man who lived in Anchorage, Alaska during the 1970s, would go down as the state's most prolific serial killer. His infamy would come from the fact that Robert Hansen was a real-life human hunter. He would lure and capture local prostitutes and sex workers, where he'd eventually kidnap them and take them to his remote cabin shack near the Nick River in Alaska, where he would release them and eventually hunt them as prey. The death of 17 different girls would be linked to Hansen by authorities, but officials believe the count could have been as high as 30. Hansen's reign of terror would come to an end in 1983, when a 17-year-old girl named Cindy Paulson, who Hansen had kidnapped and assaulted, was able to free herself right before Hansen had nearly forced her onto his bush plane. The young girl, Cindy Paulson, was able to scramble down the runway and escape her captor, where she made it to a nearby road. Luckily, a local truck driver passing by the area had seen the distressed girl and picked her up. Paulson would describe to authorities the nightmarish scenario that she had gone through the last couple days, being assaulted at Hansen's home and nearly escaping before boarding the bush plane. She described her attacker, his looks, his speech, his stutter. Although after questioning Hansen and not being successful of gathering enough evidence to arrest him in the first interview, police would eventually get a search warrant for Hansen's house. Inside, and the discoveries they would find would truly put an end to the monster that was Robert the Butcher Baker Hansen. Inside, authorities found a map with 37 different X marks. Authorities would study the map, and they concluded that 17 of the sites that they had found the girls were listed on the map. Along with the aeronautical chart, investigators also found pieces of jewelry from the missing girls. And lastly, investigators would find a mini Ruger 14 hunting rifle, the same make and model used against some of the girls. After the search of his home, Hansen would be arrested. Once presented with the evidence against him, he would admit to his crimes. Unapologetic, he would blame the victims. He would ultimately be sentenced to 461 years in prison, where he would ultimately meet his end on August 21st, 2014. He was 75 years old. And guys, that wraps up our video series on Robert the Butcher Baker Hansen. If you're a fan of long-form content, please follow the show on YouTube and all major podcast platforms. Thank you.